सकती नहीं मैं पी सकता नहीं कोई दूसरी मैं शरता भी रखता नहीं मैं तेरे बाजो मेरा 2, 1 सचिया मोहब्बत दे माही किते और नयो मिलना जीते भी तू चलना आई मैं तेरे पीछे पीछे चलना पीछे चलना ओ माही रे ओ माही
Boasty, boasty. Call part I'm a bass heavy. Man a half from the man a boasty. Fling a camera rhythm like a touchy. Boasty, house on the coast G. My music so loud you can't hear me. Some boys them can't test me. I'm on a magical journey.
दिल विच तेरे यारा मैनू रहन दे आँखों से आँखों वाली गल कहन दे धड़कन दिल दी थैनू पहचाने तू मेरा है मैं हूँ तेरी रब दिए जाने
पूरे सकती नहीं लेना सकता नहीं तेरे बिन यार और जीते सकता नहीं या तेरे बाँचों मेरा
2, 1
रंग तेरा चढ़या पे के हुर कोई रंग नयो चढ़ना सचिया मोहब्बत दे माही किते और नयो मिलना हो माही दे ओ माही
Boasty, boasty. Call part I'm a bass heavy. Man a half from the man a boasty. Fling a camera rhythm like a touchy. Boasty, house on the coast G. My music so loud you can't hear me. Some boys them can't test me. I'm on a magical journey.
Good evening. Hey, happy Monday to each and every one of you. Yes, we started with a brand new song titled The Mahi to make your Monday night a little bit better. I know a lot of you returning to work today. How was your day, Ken?
Well, good evening, Shanaz, and good evening to all our lovely viewers. It's not bad today. It was a very quiet day. I did so much filing today. I have a lot of papers to file, and I didn't expect, being a nurse, I will be a clerk.
File clerk too, right?
So, but it's good to know.
Well,
all
I
to do
can't
all this
lend you
work.
mines because I left over the weekend. I left this much papers for her to file, and I came back and I found all the papers still there, so I can't share my filing clerk
Oh
with
my
you.
God, that's terrible.
So let's say goodnight to some of our viewers tonight. I know Mr. Bawani Singh, a very good friend and radio personality, locked on to Island Zone Radio. It's Monday night. Not forgetting Mr. Rashid Backus. We have some celebrities in the building. Hey, Devinja Naidu, good evening to you. Navin, Rajiv Rajnarayan is locked on. The beautiful Sony Deosaran Bharat, how you doing? Good evening to each and every one of you. And hey, it's a short week for most of us. In NYC, we are preparing for Thanksgiving. And it's important to have a good, healthy meal.
That's right. You know, it's a lot of turkeys
I know
gonna go around.
turkeys. Well, turkey is white meat, so I believe that's a little healthier than the duck everybody's preparing. When do you prepare
That's
duck?
correct. We hardly eat the duck, but you know, duck is not that
It's
healthy
not
to eat.
one of our
Anything,
health.
any red meat is no good. It's good to eat turkey. It's kind of healthy too.
It
you know.
is. Hey, Nathan, good evening to you. Mr. J.P. Suku, that is the Justice of Peace from Guyana. Mr. John Namat Fawaka to you. Maureen Ramcharan, good evening, good evening. Stanley Ramcharan, how are you doing? The beautiful Diana Shivram, the famous John from Queens. Hey, Ravi, good evening to you. That's Ravi Barat. Somebody say Ravi B. Ravi B will be here this Wednesday at Maracas. I'll take Ken along because Raymond Ramnarayan will be there too. Hey, Maria, how are you doing? The beautiful Maria Harris, that is Don Isahak. Good night, good night. And I believe Uncle Ken will take his neighbor's duck for Christmas. Rishi Kadero, how you doing? The beautiful Zabida Mohammed. Mr. Bacchus is coming up with some new songs for Christmas, I heard. Daryl, how you doing? Danny, good evening, good evening. Thank you guys for making us part of your Monday evening.
Well, I'm so glad to see Danny is here. You know, she does so much work for people of all over the place, Guyana and the United States, always human rights and fighting for domestic violence, and she's on every case, and I'm glad to have her locked on. That's Diane Madre, if you know. So she is a good asset for men. She's such an advocate, like I said.
That's right. Let the woman speak.
That's right. Let the woman speak.
Also, we want to hear the men speak too, you know. So many times guys are not getting to voice their opinion. The beautiful Auntie Nalini and Uncle Michael Naidu, happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you locked on. Arvin Kendernot, who is this famous guy? Arvin Kendernot. Mr. Tasif Bax, good evening to you. And you know what? I have some of your songs, and hopefully due to Facebook restriction, we'll play one of your songs tonight right here on Island Zone Radio, because for the last 2 weeks, I got so many restrictions, so many cutoffs. So, you know, I was like, that's it. Mr. Vinod Harry, good evening to you. That's right, we're cooking turkey and chicken for this Thanksgiving, not forgetting the salmon, which is very healthy. Good evening to each and every one of you. Happy Monday. Ravi DJ Soundmaster, how you doing? Russell Links, good evening, good evening. Dave Lal, Harry Shivdat, good evening to you, sir. How are you doing? And what are you preparing for Thanksgiving? We love interacting with you guys, so sharing is caring. Share the link and share your ideas with us. Let's go to a beautiful song. When we return, we will talk about a police sergeant found dead in the washroom, on the washroom floor actually. When we return, stay tuned on Island Zone Radio. It's Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken every Monday. Keep it locked.
To the world, you know the brand, Demas, Dylan Dan.
मेरे दिल ने तरफ के जब नाम तेरा पुकारा.
Navin Singh, good evening to you.
तरफ के जब नाम तेरा पुकारा, कहाँ से न जाने चला आया ये मौसम प्यारा प्यारा. मेरे दिल ने तरफ के.
That is Mr. Raymond Ramnarine coming down right here this Wednesday Eve. That is Thanksgiving Eve to Maracas. Alongside Ravi B.
तेरे रास्ते पे मैं आंखें बिछाए बैठा हूँ, तेरे इंतजार की मैं दुनिया सजाए बैठा हूँ. तेरे रास्ते पे मैं आंखें बिछाए बैठा हूँ, तेरे इंतजार की मैं दुनिया सजाए बैठा हूँ. देखे तेरी नजरों को भाए ना भाए ये नजारा. मेरे दिल ने तरफ के जब ना तेरा पुकारा, मेरे दिल ने तरफ के जब ना तेरा पुकारा. मेरा प्यार राज ही रहता तो अच्छा था, सोच न बनता है साज ही रहता तो अच्छा था. तेरा मेरा प्यार एक राज ही रहता तो अच्छा था, सोच न बनता है साज ही रहता तो अच्छा है. जाने क्या होगा जब होगा ये मिलना हमारा. मेरे दिल ने तरफ के जब ना तेरा पुकारा, मेरे दिल ने तरफ के जब ना तेरा पुकारा, तेरा पुकारा, तेरा पुकारा.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that beautiful number by Mr. Raymond Ramnarine, heading down to New York for Thanksgiving Eve, I must say, Wednesday at Maracas. Hey, good evening to the beautiful Pamela Jetters, John Nima, thank you very much. Andrew Peters, how are you doing? Maria Harris, the famous John from Queens, our #1 YouTuber when it comes to our community. Hey, Rishi Kadero, good evening, good evening. Umesh Singh, happy birthday to you. Good evening to, that is Umesh from the Wave Band and Umesh Jewelry. And not forgetting Umesh Jewelry in Toronto will be having tickets for sale in Chutney in the 6th. That is Hey, Omardath Maraj show in Toronto, guys. Get your tickets in Toronto. Mr. John Nama, thank you very much. He said, John said they have vegetarian turkey. It looks just like turkey. It tastes just like turkey. But it means, well, that is very healthy. Soybeans. Hey, Maria Harris, good evening to you. Thank you for sharing that, John. Sally Asgard, the beautiful Geeta Ramprasad. So many wonderful folks. And let's get into our topic tonight. Sharing is caring, as we will talk about, hey, a police officer, a surgeon found dead in the...
Yeah, in the bathroom. And I have to tell you, it's one of our viewers' cousin, Miss Pamela Sanchez Jeffers. She lives in Pennsylvania. She always watch our program, very supportive of all the things that you and I do here on Island Zone Radio. So on behalf of Shanaz and myself, we would like to extend to you our deepest sympathy. But let's talk about this, Shanaz. Here it is, a police officer was found in a bathroom, found dead. The thing is that, let me go to what the paper says. It says a police sergeant of Mycone, East Coast, Demerara, who was attached to the Fort Wellington Police Station, West Coast, Berbice, is now dead. He reportedly developed a severe seizure Friday night. According to police source from the West Coast, Berbice, the sergeant was seen confused, in a confused state. It was also reported that the police, they arrived to calm him down, but he reportedly ran up the stairs and attempted to jump off. And so, from what all I'm hearing, when you get confused, you need medical attention. If this was in the United States, one of the things they will do is call for help immediately. I would just say, a couple of things went wrong, and we'll try to tell you some of the things that you can do
and
some
don'ts.
that you cannot do when you're having a seizure. So his colleagues managed to control him and took him to the hospital. The police source said he later left for home and suffered another seizure that night. Let's see, it says alive except the seizure he was experiencing. Shanaz, one of the things is that when you get different thing causes seizure, you can have a fever, you can get a stroke. The thing is that when you're diagnosed with seizure, you must go to your doctor often, and there is when you take your medication, you must be compliant with your medication. Saying that too, what they do your blood tests, and they check to see the therapeutic level of the medication that they're giving you. So it is very important to take your medication as prescribed. And it's so sad, such a young guy, and he's from what I know, he's very helpful with Sanchez. He's always helping her out in Guyana, where she has a daughter. And let's go. Here is some of the things that you can do. And I could tell you what really went wrong. I was not there, but I just can, figure out what went wrong. It says, do cushion the person's head and remove dangerous obstacles. That means, let's say, like you have a pitchfork or you have anything that could damage the person while they're having they're experiencing this seizure. You remove all these things from there. Turn the person on the side. And one of the things that you do that for, because what happens when the person is experiencing a seizure, what happens, the tongue become paralyzed and it can fall back to your throat and block your breathing, your airway.
Make it more complicated.
So I want to believe this is what happened. So you want to turn that person at the side, and in case they're having any kind of any secretion, it could always comes out. Also, you want to time the seizure. You want the doctor to know how long the seizure really lasts, because different kind of seizure, they last different amount of time.
Right.
You want to loosen all tight clothing, especially around the neck and the collar area, especially like you're wearing a suit and tie and so on. So you want to give that person they were able to breathe and so on. One of the things you don't do is hold the person down, put anything in their mouth, in the person's mouth. And what you need to do is to stay calm and call EMS, call 911. Things have changed over the years, how we really used to treat seizures. Years ago, Shanaz, what we used to do, and doctors used to do, is that they used to take like a thick plastic and put it across your mouth when you're having a seizure so you don't bite your tongue.
Right.
But things that, like I said, have changed now, and so this is one of the things. The important thing is put that person to lie on the side so that they could be able to breathe properly,
Loosen all tight clothing
That's
and make
right.
them comfortable. At least raise their head up a little bit higher.
Exactly.
Hey, Harry George, good evening to you. Victor, good evening to you. Mr. Frederick Wahid, good evening to you from Canada. We're heading to Canada pretty soon. Mr. John Nama, thank you. Priya Prasad, good evening to you. And let's say rest in peace to Mr. Ricky Law, a famous person in our community. And someone said they have to try the veggie turkey. Well, imagine Thanksgiving fall on one of those religious holidays you can't eat meat, well, you go for the vegetarian stuff, right? And it's always healthier having some veggies. Donnie Sahag, good evening to you. Hey, the beautiful Safi Attar, pleasant good evening to you, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your loving family as well. Amir Khan, good evening to you, and I'm so happy Mr. Harry Harry Shivdad is joining us tonight. He said he had soy sausage in India and couldn't tell it was not meat. Well, they have a lot of improvements now that to encourage us to help us to eat better.
That's right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, so many wonderful comments, guys. Keep it coming. Reno, good evening to you. Moji, Lenai, good evening, good evening. Amardath Wasankar, how you doing? The beautiful. Good evening to each and every one of you locked on to Island Zone Radio. Our next topic tonight.
Yes, and I just see Reno online here. I sent an email, a text to you. If you can respond to me, I will make an announcement on the radio here tonight. I know that I've been reading, and I see Don is so fascinated by you. He's always so respectful, and that's a beautiful thing, Be respectful to people.
That's right. Don Isahak, good evening to you. Mr. Stanley Ramsaran, Wanita Khan, how you doing? The beautiful Nasima Rohaman in Toronto, good evening to you. Chris Chachagun, how you doing? And Nashim
Sanyasi.
Mina, how you doing? Good night to each and every one of you. And yes, we love being a part of your Monday right here on Island Zone Radio. It's all about chit-chatting, sharing conversation. How was your day, current events, and, what you did today. And we're reading up on so many headlines in Guyana is mostly sad headlines.
Yes, for the past couple of days, Shanaz, it's so sad. But we have to keep ourselves together and try to not to get too stressed out with all the things that's happening. And we would like to hear our audience.
We love your feedback. So, hey, Ryan Ramsing, he's a wonderful guy in our community. We love your input to what's going on. Juanita Khan, thank you very much. Mr. Harry George, Mr. Jacob Ramsamy in Toronto, good evening to you. Good evening to each and every one of you. Hey, Vanessa Prasad. I hate missing anybody's name. We try our best to acknowledge all of our viewers. So if we miss your name, just keep commenting. We love to see you guys on. We love to get your comments. Hey, Raymond Noel, good evening to you. And you got it. Hey, are you on the TuneIn app? Nasima, thank you very much. Good evening to each and every one of you. It's Jade Deonarine. Good evening to you, my beautiful friend. She's always sending us good morning messages. So many wonderful folks wake up every day sharing messages, and it makes your day sometime, no matter how sad you get up or what you feel. Just saying good morning, have a beautiful Monday. It cheers me up.
That's why I smile and put a picture on sometimes, and the viewers, they do like that,
Camarade Chico, good evening to you. And yes, Nasima, it's all about Chutney in the 6th, December 27 in Toronto. Ad will be up pretty soon. Polly Samir, how are you doing? Shamir, good evening. The beautiful Geeta Prasad, good evening to each and every one of you. And we'll have Kenneth tell us the next title. Then we'll play a song and we'll be back discussing that title.
So, Shanaz, what I wanted to say, and I meant to open the program with this. I read one of our viewer, we didn't acknowledge him, and I tell you, it is, what the story is that I want to tell you how we guys operate. We sit down in front of the mic and we have our camera, and when you see we down our head, we are monitoring you guys, watching on our cell phone to make sure we make a comment. And when we finish, we get like over 1,000 comments.
So it's easy to miss a comment. So just keep it coming.
Please don't take it personally. I the next day I try to go back and say hello to all of you guys. So we love all of you guys, and we really do appreciate you being on this program. And thanks for your support, most of all.
That's right. And your feedback. We love making you a part of our conversation. Let us know what's going on with you. And thank you guys for every Monday. Our next topic tonight is a father. Ken, you could read the title. We'll go to a song.
That's right. A father of a newborn baby killed in East Coast accident. So much road accidents in Guyana. We would like to talk about it a little bit, and you can share your
We'll
views
give you
too.
guys some time to think and what you want to say and put in our chat box while we play some songs for you, making your Monday evening a little bit better. Good evening to Mr. Bawani Singh. Inder Naipal, how you doing? Good evening to you. Maria Harris, thank you very much. Yes, Ken is talking a little bit low tonight, right? Maybe he needs some chai tea. Well, let's go to a beautiful song. We'll be right back on Island Zone Radio. It's Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. Let's chit, let's chat.
Hey, Ravi B with the remix. How will you free up your mind and wine for this? Cause you got the energy.
Well, did someone say Rafi B is coming to Maracas this Wednesday night? That's right.
Drop, low. Drop. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, just let it keep from down there. Hey, I'm itchy in a party. The way she sexy, have me buzz all day. And if you see that body, you know she come here ready. So why not roll that bumper back on me?
Every time you touch down, know my body swing so. Drop down, know my body swing. Every time you drop down, know my body swing so. Body swing so.
Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, me gusta when you drop it and it sounds so. Black it out, black it out, black it out, blow. Me gusta when you bubble it for me. Black it out, black it out, black it out, blow. Tell the mommy you loving the rap. Run, run, tell the papi to make a wedding plan. Dance, dance for me, baby. I want to be a man. For me, it could be in any position. Go, go, tell the mommy you loving the rap. Run, run, tell the papi to make a wedding plan. Dance, dance for me, baby. I want to be a man. For me, it could be in any position. If you work real hard, black it out, and everything sky high, black it out.
Ramsa Quest, good evening to you. Good evening, Naz Hussein. How you doing? Hey, happy birthday to you. We definitely have to get a birthday song. Vanessa N. Prasad, happy 80th birthday. That's right. Happy birthday to each and every one of you celebrating. Roxanne, beautiful Roxanne Walker. Vanita Ali, that is Mrs. Ali.
And if you see that body, you know she come here ready to wine and push that bumper back on me. And me going low, and she bubbling low.
Every time you touch down, know my body swing so. Drop down, know my body swing. Every time you drop down, know my body swing so. Body swing so.
Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, me gusta when you drop it and it sounds so. Black it out, black it out, black it out, blow. Me gusta when you bubble it for me. Black it out, black it out, black it out, blow. Go, go, tell the mommy you loving the rap. Run, run, tell the papi to make a wedding plan. Dance, dance for me, baby. I want to be a man. For me, it could be in any position. Go, go, tell the mommy you loving the rap. Run, run, tell the papi to make a wedding plan. Dance, dance for me, baby. I want to be a man. For me, it could be in any position. If you work real hard, black it out, and everything sky high, black it out. No have no time for bad men and stress them. I see you. Black it out, black it out, black it out. And if you work real hard, black it out, and everything sky high, black it out. No have no time for bad men and stress them. I see you. Black it out, black it out, black it out. When you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey,
Know my body swing so. Drop down, know my body swing. Every time you drop down, know my body swing so. Body swing so.
hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, baby, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop, when you drop your body. Hey, Vera, somebody say, black a towel. Rabbi B and Vera, Maha Productions, yeah, big for the carnival.
The beautiful Vanessa N. Prasad. She wrote the 80-year-old senior had to travel to GT to get his INS or his
NIS. NIS in Ghana. It's a shame that someone at that age have to travel to make that travel arrangement to go to Guyana. So it is sad. We should have some arrangement here in the United States.
I believe there's an easier way. I'll put the comments or I'll reach out to you tomorrow. I believe it's through the fingerprinting or the process. I'll let you know the process tomorrow. But you shouldn't be traveling at 80-year-old to Guyana just for your, NIS. So that is a shame. Donnie Sahak, thank you very much. And yes, good morning to the Guyana Critic. Critic is a very good friend of mine. He's always, he's not locked on, but, he's on the morning run. And let's say goodnight to Ryan Jeffrey, Mr. Prakash Patel in India. That's a famous and fabulous model. And he was here in Manhattan for Fashion Week, was modeling, and I missed it. So there's a famous model from India, Prakash Patel, good night to you. And the famous John from Queens, Sam, good evening, good evening. Ishri Popo, how are you doing? Good evening. Are we missing some of these comments? You have to help me with my vision here.
That's right. We have Shabir Baksh from the No Jan Chat group. I see
Not
Ryan
forgetting
is
the
here.
Sunshine State, and he's always teasing us, posting on very nice pictures that he's in Florida. You know, Vikram Ganesh, I heard you did a fantastic job in Chutney Wine. Big up to the team heading back this way. Chutney Wine was this Saturday in Hamilton, Florida. And my beautiful cousin in Guyana, Shabana Shamshuddin, good evening to you. Mr. Joseph Abraham, how you doing? Thank you guys very much. She said he was from Interior Guyana. Mr. Stanley Ramstone, good evening to you. Priya Prasad, good evening to each and every one of you. Our next topic tonight will be, and before we go further into our topic, I know Ken just discussed about disorders and seizures. Here is a medical ID card. We'll put the number in our chat so you guys could reach out, get your ID. It's good for diabetes, allergy, heart disease, blood thinners, if you're on medications, and seizures. So it comes like all different kind of IDs and the bracelets, or if you want a necklace, put it in your shirt. You know, keep it very discreet, but it's so easy to operate. It's just one press of a button, you speak to an emergency operator, and help is on the way. So guys, this is very important. If you're suffering from something, I picked it up because I wanted to get one for a special person. Good evening to each and every one of you, and we encourage you guys to take care of yourself. Your health is your wealth. Eat better, and let's live longer together.
That's right. I see my teacher from Guyana, Chandrauti Feria. Thank you for tuning into our program. Sheila Mangar Singh, thank you for tuning in. Vanessa N. Persad, we just want to catch all of you guys before.
Sissy McBill, Steve Austin from the Sunshine State. Do we have a turkey song? Dawn, we'll have to look for that turkey song. And yes, let's prepare for Thanksgiving. And I believe every Friday should be Thanksgiving. You know, once a week we sit down with our family and we have a good meal. Whether, I know this year we're doing it by my sister's house. You know, it's the first Thanksgiving in her house. And then Friday we're all regrouping to my house.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I believe that, and I wanted to talk about this. You know, we should be thankful every day. And when we get up, we should be thankful because you have life. And when you have life, you can do anything. And
we should always have an attitude for gratitude. Every morning we wake up, we say a little prayer. And, you know, look ahead. Look at the day with a new pair of eyes.
Yes. And, you know, the truth of the matter is, Shanaz, that since I started doing these shows, I've looked at life in a much more different way. I am so appreciative of all the things that I am blessed with from the time I get up in the morning. You know, the first thing I did was pick up my phone and check. Because of my job, I got 2 jobs, and check my patients if anybody texts me about the clients and so on. But now the first thing I do is I pray and I thank God for another day which He allowed me to see.
And so many folks who are living it, you know, they are so ungrateful, but waking up every day is a blessing on its own. So let's give a good night. And for Waka to DJ Ryan Prasad, how are you, my friend? Good evening to Hanif Hamid. How you doing? Good evening to each and every one of you locked on to Island Zone Radio. Every Monday, it's Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. Sharing is caring, and let's continue. Hey, my good friend, Mr. Sukpal from Guyana. That is Sukpal gas station in Guyana. Big up to Chris. How are you doing tonight? Sharon Nadira, good evening to you. Marine Ramcharan, good evening, good evening. And Sharon Shaw, good evening to you. And let's continue our topic, a father of a newborn. And there, as you said earlier, there's so many accidents happening in Guyana. Yes. I believe it's due to a lot of reckless driving. Guys, comment, let us know what your thoughts are. Mindfulness is very important. Thank you, Sabi. That's my motto. And, you know, a little relaxing here and there is good for your mind. Also, a little socializing is good for your mind. Stanley Ramsaran, good evening to you. Why did Guyana Critic block Mr. Stanley Ramsaran? Were you commenting too much? I believe that would be Mr. John DeMutt, not you.
Yes, and birthday greetings going out from Chandrauti Feria, going out to her grandson, Jaden, and shout out to the granddaughters. So, happy birthday, you guys, and you are very lucky to have a very good grandmother like her.
So happy birthday to your grandson, Jaden. And let's go.
Okay, so this is the thing, what I got to say, Shanaz, is that the father of 2, a newborn baby killed in the East Coast accident. A 31-year-old father was one who killed in an accident on the Felicity Railway embankment, East Coast of Demerara. That is David Headley, who worked with the Republic Bank and was a father of a 4-month-old baby. Police said that Headley was driving a motor car reportedly at a fast rate of speed when he collided with a rail, and he died of his injury. We're going to talk about this, but let me talk about another one here. Another accident that happened. Tushin, a mother of 3, killed after speeding minibus crashes. And it says she was 31 years old of tuition housing scheme on the east bank of Essequibo, died Friday morning after a minibus that she was traveling collided with another minibus at the Kendron Public Road on the west coast of Demerara. She left behind a 8-year-old child, 1-year-old child, and she was just 36-year-old. She had a 36-year-old husband. So what I want to say, Shanaz, this one said the minibus was going at a fast rate too. Listen, I'm very serious about this when I say this. As human beings, we know we like speed, but what happens to our safety, our family safety, and living a responsibility, live a responsible life? Look, I just came back from a 15-hour drive from Chicago to New York. I drive all by myself. Nobody helped me drive. But I was thinking, I think about my wife, I think about my children, I think about everybody else who was in the car.
I'm sure you were tired. It was a long drive.
I was so tired. But
Did you stop and take rest, get some coffee?
I mean, always get coffee and eat something coming up.
And my motto is I'm never in a rush. I have that personality. I'm not sure a lot of folks who know me will say that I'm never on time because I'm not stressing it out. Especially when I get in my car driving to work or driving to wherever. When I get there, I get there.
That's right. I remember driving from Canada with my aunt, Delari Siobin, when we were coming back from Canada, as I said, and she was saying, put some peps in the steps, man. And I said, where are you hurried to go? And so we need to stop, hurry, and drive. Every day I drive in the Grand Central, I see there's an accident.
They're texting and driving. They're putting on makeup and driving. You know, there's so many things. When you're behind the wheel, you have to focus on the road. And if you don't care about your safety, care about the safety of others. You just, took a father from his children.
Yes.
So that is very sad. You took a father from his children, and so many other folks will be.
Oh, and that woman, she died and left 3 children. Who's going to take care of these children? And nothing like a mother's love, Shanaz. You and I know that. We see so much people and hear of so much sad stories when they don't have their parents.
That's right. So, guys, be a little bit more careful when you're on the road. Be careful when you're driving in the school zone. And there are rules and signs up there for a reason. They want us to obey them. Stop at the stoplight for so many minutes, so many seconds. Just obey the rules. Jamir Mohammed, good evening to you. Mr. Harry George. Tony Singh, good night. Good night.
My patient always used to tell me, an older guy, he's about 70-something years old. And he keep telling me all the time, when I'm leaving work, he said, be careful. And I was telling him, but I'm always careful. He said there are so much jerks out there. You have to be careful of those people that's driving.
You might think you're driving okay, but there's other reckless drivers on the road. Roxanne Walker, good evening to you. Maria Harris, good evening to you. She said, I always say speed trolls and kills. That's right. Be careful on the road. Jaleel Backus, good evening to you. Mr. Don Isahak, good evening.
Good evening, Sandra. How are you? And I say, Sandra, thank you for watching the program. I was telling Geeta the other day that you tune in every week, and I'm so glad to have you on our program. Please continue to share and watch this program, okay?
Pamela Jetters, thank you very much. Vanessa Peters, Bibi Hussein, thank you. And yes, sharing is caring. The beautiful Maureen Ramcharan. Abdul Ali, good evening to you. And the beautiful Savi Attar, I believe the DJ have a song. We'll take a music break and we'll be right back right here on Island Zone Radio. Every Monday, it's Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. Barry Sicharan, how you doing? Good evening, good evening. So many wonderful names, so many wonderful faces that's locked on tonight. This beautiful week of Thanksgiving. We have a lot of things to be thankful for. And most of all, thankful to each and every one of you for making us part of your day every Monday. And coming pretty soon, it's the Ken Ramprasad Show. Keep it locked as, hey, will he be doing the Gunga Ghana dance? No, he wouldn't. It's all about mindfulness and sharing some good ideas about health. Because your health is your wealth.
Shanaz, and I'm so glad you bring it up. I was going to talk about it, but I forgot. But I want to tell my story for a long, long time.
And who will be in the hot seat answering all the questions,
it
all
will
the
be
very
me.
up close, very personal questions. When you think you're losing so many things in life, you got to listen to someone else's story. And
That's
there's
right.
always someone who's going through a rougher time than you are.
Absolutely. Like I said before, I'm going to give you a preview of what's coming. Shanaz, when I came to the United States, I went to my aunt, and then after I was not getting any work there in Hartford, I came to New York, and I had $35 in my pocket, And when I went to work, there were days I was hungry and I had no money to buy no food.
To be continued. To be continued. You guys, all of you have to keep it locked for the Ken Ramprasad show.
True.
We're not giving it away tonight.
Yeah,
Hey, Shelly
right.
Backus, good evening to you. The beautiful Lenai. Joan Bisundial, good evening to you. And Mr. Suresh Sugrim, good evening. Good evening to you, sir. I know Mr. Suresh Sugrim is always offering from the humanitarian mission, is always offering something. We have to add that page on our page as well, to share it, empowering the women in Guyana and the guys, when it comes to what he's doing with the humanitarian mission is a lot. So guys, check it out, humanitarian mission on Facebook. And if you would like to contribute or sponsor one of these programs, I know they had the cake decorating class, they had the nails, sewing, and they're all very informative class that, the females graduate, they can go on being an entrepreneur.
I like his
provider.
His theme. You know what? Teach someone how to fish so they could eat for the rest of their life.
Give them one fish, you'll feed them for a day, but teach them to fish and you'll feed them forever, and they'll be feeding their families as well. Bibi Jenny, good evening to you. Hey, Robert Ram, good evening. Good evening to each and every one of you locked on to Island Zone Radio. It's Monday night, and we want to get you guys a little bit in the Thanksgiving mode, right?
That's right. That's right.
Let's write down, make a list of all the things we're thankful for. The one thing in our list is that we're thankful for having you a part of our day right here every Monday. So DJ, let's go. And we'll be right back on Island Zone Radio. Mr. Stanley, good evening to you. Show. He'll be sharing his story very first, and then we'll go to a famous guy in our community, Ryan Jeffrey, because you know what, sharing is caring, and it makes you feel like you're not the only one going through something, you're not the only one suffering. John Nimit, thank you very much. Candy Lal, good evening to you. Linai, how are you doing? Bibi Hussein, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. Good evening to you, Mr. Barry, how are you doing tonight? John Nimit, thank you. And that is the voice of Mr. Raymond Ramnarine. And Mr. Barry said he snores so loudly it scares everyone. Snoring is not very healthy. So we'll put a number in there to get a sleep study. Padmini, Robbie Star, how you doing? Good night. Each and every one of you locked on to Island Zone. So Mr. John Nama, thank you for sharing. That was $310 in your pocket. How many years ago? Because if you come to this country with $310, it will last you a couple of weeks until you get a job, So that's a lot of money for you, Mr. John Nama.
Anytime you need a lover, call on me. I'll be waiting. Anytime you need a lover,
right, Mr. Donnie Sahak. That was a lot of money for 1992, I believe. 1992, that's a lot of money. You know, $310. Mr. Suresh Sugam said he came with $17. Whether it's now or back in the days, that was a little bit of money. $17 and homeless. Well, we need to get an interview with Mr. Suresh Sugrim. Hey, good evening to the beautiful Indira Prasad. Joan Bisundial. Maria. Thank you for sharing. And I said someone came with $17. No, Victor came with $15, and he said he's going back with $15. So maybe we need to raise, do a fundraiser for Victor.
Yes, and guess what, Shanaz? I think it's going to be a good show because guess what? A lot of us came to the United States and went through a lot of hard times. And one of the reasons why I'm going to tell my story is that a lot of people who we hear so much people kill themselves because they don't have. And so many other reasons. A lot of people went through hard times. So, and I said, where am I now? So, you know what? It only lasts a short time, and you'll bounce back to wherever you go. And, Pamela Jeffers says, thank God for his grace, but heartbroken in the losing my cousin in such a sudden death. He was a kind-hearted person and a joyful person. So, it's good to hear these kind of things, Shanaz. When you die, people say good things about you. And let's talk about when you die. I was listening to Oprah as I was driving home. I always like to listen to something that's uplifting and that's powerful. And the person said, when they die, they just want to hear good things. And I said, for me, when I die, if I could just hear, if somebody could say, at my funeral, I just, with all the accolades that I receive for birds and everything, I just say, if they could just say I was a kind soul, that would just be good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Because the good and the bad we take with us, Hey, Bibi Hag, good night to you. Donnie Sahak, thank you very much. Savi Attar, John Nimmat, thank you. And hey, Ryan Jeffrey, good evening to you. I want to read a funny message. Anita Munsami, good evening to you. And the beautiful Roxanne Walker said a down payment for a house in 1973 was only $300.
Wow. She was here a long time.
Wow, that's good to know.
I always tell you guys that Roxanne is such a nice person. I've never met her, but when my sister was in Florida, came to Florida and had to go home back to Guyana, she was there supporting her. And because of this show, our show, I get in touch with back her after many, many years. Wow. And she and my sister rekindled back, and I hope that they could visit sometime soon, I see my friend, my schoolmate, Nadira Santi. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm so glad to see my schoolmate, people who I went to school with 30 years ago, is tuning in to listen to our talk. So, Shanaz, let's talk about. I don't know if you want to say something.
It's good to reminisce on our old times and our hard time because looking back on how much we struggle, it only inspires us to do better for ourselves. And if we're able to do better for ourselves, we can always help someone along the way. And helping them don't mean just giving them a handout financially. Listening to them, talking to them, and don't be judgmental.
That's right, and that's going to be my show on Sunday. I'm going to premiere my show on Sunday coming. I didn't realize it was Sunday, so I now have to plan all the things I'm going to talk, and I hope it's going to be interactive. We're going to help each other out. I hope I don't tear up when I'm going to tell my story, because a lot of things I will be sharing with you guys.
It's good to cry sometime, Imtiaz Ali, good evening to you. Lina, how you doing? Bibi, hey, thank you. Robert Ram, good evening. He said, I left with $17 and spend it all in the plane. And a lot of folks have stories they want to share. Priya Prasad, good evening to you. Diana Shivram, good evening to you. And you know what is so important is that everyone could say what they're experiencing. They feel the same thing, you know.
That's right.
They
That's
could
right.
say, you know, I was there before. I know how hard it was.
That's right. And Suresh Sugram said, you know what, he was homeless. Technically, I could say I was homeless because one time I didn't have anywhere to go. I was standing here. But let's leave all of that for my show.
That's
on
right.
The day.
Not giving away any secrets tonight. Priya,
That's
thank you
right.
very much, Lena. Mr. Shabir back. She said, when I came, I first used to hope immigration caught me and deport me. Oh, now you have to just stand on Liberty Avenue. They'll do it freely for you. So come to New York City. Donnie Sack, thank you very much. Maureen Ramcharan. And yes, everyone think America is, you know, bed of roses. You have to work your butt off in this country. So for you guys who have family in Guyana, enabling them, their laziness to, you know, send money, tell them to get up, get a job, get a train, do something. I know it's very hard in Guyana. You can't find job, but there's a lot of folks who are making it.
That's right. You know,
and if I see you have an attitude for helping yourself, I will help you along the way. But if you can't be sitting down and be online all day and asking me for help, I don't do handouts because you know what? I work hard for what I have. And I don't like handouts. I don't like anyone giving me anything.
Oh.
So, go ahead.
I see one of our viewers that's just tuned in. Puna, thank you very much for tuning in. Barry Sanchez said, I have a sad and beautiful story. I was a poor growing up, and if I wasn't a boy, I had nothing to play with. All right. So let's go. You know, and I know Don Ishahak from a little boy. We grew up in the same village of Lenora on the west coast of the Marara in Guyana. I see my friend Priya is locked on to Anita Munsami. Thank you for tuning in. Imtiaz Ali Ken wife still is in the hospital in Baltimore. Life is going down. Oh yes, I want to tell you guys. Yeah, Imtiaz Ali, his wife is very sick and is in Baltimore hospital. If we all could say a prayer for her, and if you can, Imtiaz, if you can share that GoFundMe page again, if we can support you in any way, we ask our viewers to help you guys out, and we pray that she a speedy recovery. Our good friend Miss Neela Pawaru just joined the program. What a beautiful soul she is.
Yes, she is. Good evening to you, Neela. Barry Sichuran, thank you very much. Robert Ram, good evening, and do share that link so we could help Imtiaz Ali and his wife.
That's right. She's very sick and is in the hospital at this moment as we're talking. And another story that caught my attention with this nurse in England. She was working 12-hour shift and she killed herself. A dedicated nurse who had nightmare about work committed suicide after the stress of working 12-hour shift left her unable to lead a life of her own at home. An inquest heard. She was 35 years old. And what I got to say, Shanaz, you know, I mean, everyone, we are individuals and we like different things. I've been working for 12 hours and for 16 hours shift for many, many years now. I used to do 2 16-hour shift back to back, and then I would go back to work the next day to do 8-hour shift, which makes my 40 hours work. But I like it. You know why? Because I used to get 4 days off a week. So
but don't you feel like you're pressuring yourself in that time? You know, you're depriving yourself from sleep.
It's a good thing.
And sleeping is important. Your body needs
right.
6 to 8 hours of sleep.
And I'm glad you say that because what I do from a long time, I always take a nap in between my shifts. I take an hour break and I used to go and sleep, put up my foot on the chair and
a lot of folks are still doing that in the nursing field, especially they work around the clock, so they'll just take time off and take a nap and come back. But depriving yourself from sleep is weakening your immune system, and it's prone to bring on so many other illness. So sleeping is very important, whether you're suffering from anything or you're just healthy enough. Don't let body deprive.
Right. But I still, I mean, like I said, there was benefits for both sides. If you really want to work and get some money, and earlier in your career, that would give you a good jump start to work.
I see folks who, I know, big up to my friend Apache Warrior, he's working around the clock. He feel like he's Superman, so he's always working. And I have a song coming up by Mr. Apache Warrior because he's such a good friend. And we want to play songs for artists who are here with us like week after week. I didn't have to mention Apache name, but he's here week after week, cheering us on, encouraging us to do what we're doing, supporting us. So we love to support you guys back. And working, as much as is important, work for the right reason. I know friends who are working because they saw a beautiful Michael Kors bag came out and they want to get that. While you're working to get a Michael Kors bag, you're, taking hours away from your children, your family, and nothing else matters to me. I have all of them as decorative in my, it doesn't matter. What matters is your loved ones around you. And I look at the nurses, sometimes they'll ask me, can you put me on schedule? I saw something, I want to buy it. I need to work extra. And I can't tell them, it's school off. A lot of times I will tell my coworkers, what are you guys doing with the kids? School are off, time to plan a trip or do something. But, I hate when people say, put me on to work, put me on the schedule because I have to make some extra money to buy something of luxury. Save it. If you're saving it for a house, it's different. You get that motivation. You get that thrill that you're working towards a house. Donnie Sahak, thank you very much. And yes, Alvin Ramsarup, how are you doing? That is Underground Sound in the building. Mr. Ramdi Alkishun, good night to you. The beautiful Neela Pawaru. Savi Attar, where are you going? Don, thank you. Don't hang your hats where you can't reach it. Thank God I don't wear hats either.
Oh, you wear some beautiful hats. Don't go there, Shanaz. You always wear some nice hats, especially when it's hot.
That's right. Hey, Mr. Hemchan Jai, good night to you, sir. How are you doing in the beautiful Guyana, homeland Guyana? We're hoping to make Guyana great again.
That's right. I see Alvin Ramsarup, he locked in. So thank you very much.
That is Underground Sound from Schenectady. The famous John from Queens. And hey, Bounty Sing Song. Good night, good night. And let's go to a beautiful song by Mr. Apache Warrior. Where is our DJ? And guys, happy Thanksgiving to you and your beautiful family from Shanaz and Ken and our family as well. So let's have a good time. Share your pictures and do tag us so we could see what's for dinner.
That's right. That's right.
And maybe we'll stop by. If it's on the healthy side, I'll just stop by for a salad.
Yes, yes.
So good night to each and every one of you, and let's go. Hey, Harry Shivdad, good
This
evening,
one is
good
a
evening.
wicked collaboration. Dedicated song for all the ragamuffin Indians from Guyana, Trinidad, Suriname. Bunty, come with it, man.
As Mr. Apache Warrior said, dedicated to all the ragamuffins locked on. Let's go.
Shake your bumper to the ground, make that thing burn, burn. Shake your bumper to the ground, make that thing burn, burn. Shake your bumper to the ground, make that thing burn, burn. Make that thing burn, burn. Make that thing burn.
Well, Mr. Shabir back. If we have Hasakari every day, will be Thanksgiving for us as well. Hey, good evening to the handsome Ken and Kevin. Well said to the beautiful Anita Munsami. Don't put your hands in where your pocket can't reach. What is that?
You see this one here? This one is a crucial collaboration. Me want all the ladies them to come up front. I want you to get ready. This suck it up, boom boom. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Suck it, boom boom. 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 Suck it, boom boom.
वहाँ गई बागी बागी पास गई सारी कहा गई मैं हिम्मत के मारी वहाँ गई बागी बागी पास गई सारी कहा गई मैं हिम्मत के मारी भागो रे भागो भागो रे भागो भागो रे भागो बबुल बन में काटवा गाड़ जाए भागो रे भागो बबुल बन
beautiful song done by Mr. Apache Warrior. That's right. And Bounty Singh from Guyana. Well, we saw the link is up here. It says Imtiaz Ali. Click the support. And she needs a new heart for the beautiful Deborah Ali, organized by her husband, Imtiaz Ali. So, guys, please show your love and your support. $5 will help. And you feel free to use, I believe, GoFundMe. It's a link right there. Right. Monica Narayan, good night to you. The beautiful Debbie Sanasi. Ramnath, how you doing? The beautiful Bibi Haq, Mr. Shabir Bax, good evening, good evening. And let's go, Mr. Ken.
So another thing that caught our attention that we want to talk about, a father slit his son's throat for being gay in an attempt to kill him. This is such a sad story. And I saw the picture on Facebook where the son has all his slit on his throat. It says a gay teen in Switzerland said that his homophobic father tried to kill him. The father stand over his bed with a knife and shouting. He shouted, "Are you gay? Are you gay?" He said, and the attack happened over 6 months ago. He tried to defend himself during the attack, but he was cut in the throat and upper body. He managed to escape across the balcony to his neighbor place, and they called paramedics and the police. You know, Shanaz, it's a sad story, and we all have children, and you know, like I often say that we must love our children. We must grow them, no matter what it is. They are
love
our
them
children.
for who they are.
Absolutely. All our children are not equal.
Our fingers are not equal, so we're all different. We're all individuals.
And we shouldn't judge anybody, really. And if your child is gay, what can I tell you? You have to you need to accept them and still show them love, the love that you have for all your kids. They're different. Like I said before, and I'll say it in years to come, that, you know what, we are born in this world, and we need to be kinder and nicer to each other. We need not to stress people out, to bully people, and to do all these things, to call all these people names and this matter. You don't know what these people are going through. And on a daily basis, you and I work in, and a lot of our viewers work with so many people, and we see people coming to work, Shanaz, and we don't know what they are going through on a daily basis, but they just show up to work. And it's sad that their colleagues will have to give them a hard time
and
to
critique
continue.
on what they're wearing. You know, sometimes you don't know what you went through to get to work, or you might see someone crossing the road wearing something that you may not wear, and you know, you become judgmental and look at her, what she's wearing, but maybe she had a rough morning. She's just, you know, trying to put herself together to make it to an appointment. And always help the elderly, I believe, you know, checking on your neighbor now and then. It's always good. Anita Munsami, Savi Atar.
She wants to know where this happened. This is in Switzerland.
And speaking of good people, the beautiful girly Prasad, always making a difference. She just volunteered her time and her talent, her beautiful vocals, the voice of, you know, she is
Kanchan.
Kanchan, that's
Kanchan,
right.
yeah.
She just volunteered for Chutney Wine. We Got Your Back organization. They're heading down from, I believe, Hamilton, Florida this weekend. They were there. Girly Prasad, thank you very much. Don Isahak, good evening to you. Kamini Ramjon, how you doing?
And I need to say, Kamini, thank you. She was our back neighbor in Ghana, and I hope that you're doing well and keep the faith and keep fighting on. I hope that things will get better. But thank you so much for tuning in. I see Lena. She says she had one brand name bag. I always love to help the needy people. That is in my heart desire. And it's a good thing to help people. It's not bad to help each other.
It's a good feeling, you know, you just help someone, uplift them, whether it's talking to them. And if you can't help, always put them on to somebody who could help. Navin is kind of late for joining us on Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken every Monday. There is a penalty for being late. Kamini Ramjon, good evening to you. Good evening to each and every one of you. Thank you guys for making us a part of your Monday night. What song would you like to hear? Our DJ is all ready. Hey Nadira, good evening to you. We'll come back with some more headlines, making headlines, not just in Guyana, from around the world as well. Priya Prasad, good evening to you. Maria Harris, good evening, good evening. Bibi Hussein, good evening to you. She said, we live in a society where people are very judgmental, not a good thing. That's right. If you see someone walking down the road with a guy, instantly it's her boyfriend.
That's right. That's right.
We're quick to
see
judge.
Our girl Priya Prasad said some are not strong-spirited to take criticism. That's when we should consider before saying anything that's negative. And it's so true.
You might say something good, but they didn't take it or didn't go over that way, you know?
Yes. Omardath Singh, thank you for tuning in.
Good evening to each and every one of you. Let's go with a song. Mr. Rajesh, welcome, welcome. No, we're talking. It's Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. Do share your headlines with us and let us read it. Good evening to you.
मेरा सोना पराए संगीत मेरा सोना.
That's right, Bibi Hussein. Give a smile sometime. A smile is all we need. Hey, Selector Abid was in NYC over the weekend. Having a good time. Big up to you, Selector Abid.
आलौट के आजा मेरे मीर तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. आलौट के आजा मेरे मीर तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. मेरा सोना पराए संगीत मेरा सोना पराए संगीत तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. आलौट के आजा मेरे मीर तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं.
A smile can take you an extra mile. Thank you, Mr. Robert.
बरसे गगन मेरे बरसे नयन देखो तरसे है मन अब तो आजा. शीतल पवन ये लगाए गगन सजन अब तो मुखरा देखा जा. तूने बलि रे निभाई प्रीत तुझे मेरे गीत.
Hey, Mr. Dharmendra Muria from Bihar, India. Good evening to you. Good morning.
के आजा
Rajesh Samaru. Veera Paul.
मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. मेरा सोना पराए संगीत मेरा सोना पराए संगीत तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. आलौट के आजा मेरे मीर तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. एक पल है हंसना एक पल है रोना कैसे है जीवन का खेला. एक पल है मिलना एक पल भी छोड़ना दुनिया है दो दिन का मेला. ये घड़ी नहीं जाए भी तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. आलौट के आजा मेरे मीर तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. मेरा सोना पराए संगीत मेरा सोना पराए संगीत तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. आलौट के आजा मेरे मीर तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. आलौट के आजा मेरे मीर तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं.
Well, Mr. Imtiaz Ali, we feel your pain. Stay strong. Keep the prayers. And as Ken said, John Hopkins Hospital is one of the best hospital there is.
Yes, guys, and the story is that Imtiaz Ali wife is in the John Hopkins Hospital, and she needs a new heart. She can't do anything. She's in her final stage. So let's all pray for her, and let's support this guy in this real time. It's sad to know
Very
that your
sad
wife
time.
is
And you
dying
can't
and
do
you
anything
can't do
about
anything.
it. It's, you feel helpless.
Yes, so we pray that a miracle could happen and that she gets strong back. But keep us informed how she's doing, okay? You can always inbox me and let me know what's going on, okay?
Sandra Harry, good evening to you. Ryan Ramcharan, how you doing? Janet Hussein, good evening to you as well. Maureen Ramcharan, Roxanne Walker, Diana Shiv Ram, Shamir Wahab, good evening to you. Yes, Mr. Barry, thank you very much. And yes, smiling is a language of its own. It's sharing some love, and love is a good gift to give. When you don't have anything to give some love and some appreciation. Bibi Haq, good night to you. We'll go straight into our conversation with headlines around the world. Debbie Sanasi, good night to you.
Yes, and another story that caught our attention, a disabled girl, aged 18 years old, hung herself to death after bullied threatened her her, they bullied, they threatened to roll her off a mountain.
I believe she was in a wheelchair.
Yes, and it's so sad. The horrific post made the 18-year-old wheelchair bound Maya to hang herself to death at her in Tucson, Arizona, on August the 24th. They wrote online, the bully stated that after rolling her off the mountain, they're going to kick her while she's dead, and then we would party. This girl, she was, what happened? She was in an accident when she was a young child, and she was awarded $2.7 million compensation by the car seat manufacturer, which she got when she turned 18. And she just turned 18 years old, and she took some money and she bought $500,000 and buy a house for her mother. And it's sad. How can you be so insensitive to someone?
It's
who
the
is in a
way you're
wheelchair?
raising your children. Some folks are not that mindful. You have to instill good values in your children and, learn them the right from the wrong, and then they'll become. I'm sure they're not of West Indian descent. Most of them,
They're white. I believe
Right.
she's white, and it's a sad thing. You know what? It starts at home. Train your children properly so they don't take advantage of people, and they don't beat people up, and they don't bully people at school. You know what? Because these young children, they don't know how to deal with all these things that you fight them, you tell them all manner of things.
especially when you're different origin from a diverse neighborhood.
Exactly. So, and the thing is that this person in a wheelchair, and you're taking advantage of her. That's really speaks
Instead of
volume
having
of
a
who you
little
really
empathy
are.
and helping her and offer to do something for her, make her life a little bit, helping her out a little bit. You go do all these horrific acts.
Yes, and you know what the other thing that bothers me, Shanaz, is that how come you can have your friends there cheering you on to do bad things? Can somebody stop and say, man, you need to stop. This is not right. This is not
A
good.
lot of folks don't feel like intruding, but you know what? Instead of standing there being a bystander, walk away, get an adult, go get, if they're in a school, get a teacher or headmaster. But I've seen also adults videoing other adults
Fighting.
harassing kids, mistreating kids, and they're videoing instead of calling the cops or getting involved. I can't see an adult spanking a child or, and just stand there looking at it. Debbie Sanasi, good night to you. Lina, how you doing? Mr. Harry Shivdad, good night, good night. Give them a pet, they'll learn to love. Right, it's all about loving, teaching your children how to love. Dolly Shahid, good evening to you. Basi Prasad, how you doing? Girly Prasad, thank you very much. And Girly sent me a lot of her beautiful songs. We'll be playing it on Island Zone Radio pretty soon. Priya Prasad, thank you very much. She said upbringing is so important.
And, I see Savi, thank you, Savi, for always tuning in. Jayashri Sarju from Lenora, thank you very much for tuning in. It's always good to have my Lenora people tuning in. Also, about 2 weeks ago, I know in Guyana there was this girl, had 3 children, and she drank rat poison, and she's dead. Yesterday, I learned to another young guy kill himself in Guyana. So there's not a lot of things, a lot of guys who commit suicide, or girls, we are hearing about them, but we want to be kinder to our fellow human being. To be kind, to be good to them, and not for them to do these kind of things. We don't know when someone go home what happens to them. As I glance under our screen, I see our good friend Miss Lalita Dev Prasad.
Is
Oh, she's such a darling. I spoke to her this week, and she's so encouraging and so supportive. And this is what she wants. Like, she heard I want to come up in my own show. She said, I am with you. I'm going to support you. And this is what you want. We are not perfect. None of us are perfect. And so this is why we need to be kinder and good to each other. Not because someone makes a mistake. That means one-time mistake that you're going to crucify them and you will chastise them and all these kind of things. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Good evening, teaching every one of you. Savi Attar said, upbringing starts from home and showing them how to live and love, showing them, learning them compassion. Good night to each other. Every one of you locked onto Island Zone Radio. Bibi Hussein, good evening to you. And folks abuse the media. What I wanted to say without interrupting you, Ken, is that on Facebook, while we're seeing all these horrific stories about suicide and violence and reckless driving, we're seeing all these fun videos about pets living and loving each other.
I saw that too.
And if they can adapt and love each other, why can't we? We are humans. We have a bigger heart. Don't you think we should live lovingly?
We are the best. We are the higher in chain.
Creation.
And, I love pets. And if pets can give so much love, why not we human being? And sometimes people want to say, "Oh, them like dogs," but then sometimes I said, "No, no, no, don't go there because the dogs they give you more love sometimes."
Sometimes, that's right. Hey, Mala Sankar, good evening to you. Mala was celebrating her birthday. The beautiful Mala Hari Prasad from Toronto, good evening to you. Hey, Flavia, how you doing? Hari Shivdat, parents have to practice, get involved in helping the unfortunate, and the kids will see and learn. That's right. The kids will copy what you're doing. If you're a helpful person at home, you volunteer to do things, they will also get into the habit of asking.
I also see Faith Cow from Parika tune in. Thank you very much. I see Savi said, my motto is every day I try to be better than the other day. And I so agree with her. And that goes for me too, Shanaz. I try to be kind and to be good every day and to better myself, to be a good human being. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easy sometimes because sometimes our own people bring us down. Our own family talk about us. Our friends talk bad about
and
us.
And our community is so small. They said, sometimes they said they're crabs in a barrel. Instead of pulling folks down, help them, empower them, enrich their lives, push them up. Because you know what? No one of us is taking anything when we leave. So why not help everyone along the way?
That's right. I see Mala I Sankar Kalicharan. Thank you for tuning in. I can relate to you, Ken, about my dog. Yes, you get a lot of love from your dogs. I see Robert Ramp. Thank you very much for tuning in and for watching our program.
Robert Ram is going to the beautiful Girlie Prasad because she has a class. She'll be hosting a class on how to love.
Oh, Lord, you get me there. Well, it's
and
a beautiful...
maybe we all need a lesson on how to love,
That's right, that's right.
Diana Shivram, good evening to you. Anita Munsami, good night, Bibi Hussein. Be a leader and people will follow. And a good leader always help. You don't just be a bystander.
And what I like, even to Ken and Kevin, they're 12 and 13 years old. They are starting to say, you know what? No, you're wrong. You can't do this. Kevin want to fight. I tell him, don't fight. You can't fight. But you can go to your headmaster and your teacher and let them know when you see someone is being bullied.
That's right. And the minute you feel like you're being bullied, you have to speak to someone. And speaking about bullying, we'll have on Island Zone Radio a special segment, a special kiddies segment with children. If you like to have your child a part of our conversation, do reach out to Ken or myself and we'll have that interview set up pretty soon. Hey, Nazan Hussein from the Sunshine State, good evening to you. Priya Prasad, thank you very much. Lena, thank you. And Lena wrote, people are so disrespectful these days. They don't care about other people nor their feelings. That's right. You have to, the way you treat someone says a lot about you personally.
That's right. So. And, I heard the stories that, if you're not happy with yourself, don't go put it on somebody else. And there is things that you can do every day to help yourself if you see you're struggling. And one of the things that I try to do, because sometimes I work long hours, I start my day with going in my car. I listen to some gospel songs and even some inspirational song or some inspirational video. So it could calm me down and keep me to face the nation sometimes.
That's right, Saviatar. Thank you very much. You said it comes back to the demand and electronic hardship force both parents to work hard and spend less time with their children. That's right. And I feel like we're giving our kids too much that they don't need, especially when it comes to the cell phone. Have them put it away in their book bag so, it doesn't become a target for other kids. The beautiful Lalita Dear Prasad said, guys,
if you do verbal arguments, please don't do it in front of your children. Please. And it is so true. These children, although they're small, they pick up your vibes. They know what's going on. And, I see it in my own home sometimes. Like, I get in a fight like once every 6 months or 8 months. So I go for that. And you will hear Ken or Kevin would say, you guys need to stop now.
That's good.
We calm down. You know what I mean? So if these children can do that and Mike could do it, everybody as children should be able to do that.
And you're living in a very loving home, I must say. There's a lot of love in this home and
Thank
wherever
you.
I visit you guys. Bibi Hussein said, I believe in being nice even to haters. That's right. Kill them with kindness and kill them slowly. Thank you guys very much. Priya Prasad, if you can't uplift them, then don't bring them down. Well, let's uplift you with a beautiful song right now on Island Zone Radio. Our DJ is uplifting himself. Let's go.
The neighbor run away. Hey, like she gone back by she father house to stay. Yeah, my brother said the neighbor run away. My brother said the neighbor run away. Hey,
roti shop down in Katsande, but I don't want to end up in this kind of bacchanal. So find yourself and head back down final. The man can see the searching all about. In Port of Spain, Central and then South. Look she there, running up the highway, following a garbage truck, heading by the dumping truck standing. Your husband crying it, cause he wife he missing, and I have to hear about it whole day. So I beg your neighbor, come back home and stay. Yes, I beg your neighbor, go back home and stay. Look, my brother said the neighbor run away. Like she gone back by she father house to stay. Look, my brother said the neighbor run away. Neighbor, where you gone? Girl, please don't do nothing wrong. Look, somebody say you buy a roti shop down in Katsande, but I don't want to end up in this kind of bacchanal. So find yourself and head back down final. The man can't sleep, he's searching all about. In Port of Spain, Central and
Mr. Narayan, Dad from Toronto, good evening to you. Hey, Mr. Jacob Ramsamy, good evening to you. DJ Sean, fantastic sound. Hey, Mr. Bishan Shiftaran, good evening to you. The beautiful Priya Prasad. We will get a song by the beautiful Tassie back.
and I'll talking about this every day. So I beg your neighbor, come back home and stay. Yes, I beg your neighbor, go back home and stay. Look, my brother said the neighbor run away. Like she gone back by she father house to stay. Yeah, my brother said the neighbor run away. Look, my brother said the neighbor run away. Like she gone back.
Music is good to help you focus and de-stress. Cuba Hussein, how are you doing? Good evening, good evening.
Run away. So now I beg you never come back home and stay. Yes, I beg you never go back home and stay. She I alongside Master Slim. But I don't want to end up in this kind of bacchanal. So find yourself and head back down final. The man can't sleep, he's searching all about. In Port of Spain, Central and in South. Brothers United.
Welcome back to Island Zone Radio. It's after 10 p.m. No, it's not. We will continue to chat right here on Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. Priya Prasad, thank you very much. Shamir Wahab wrote, school children in the U.S. have to get, they have no respect, actually. They have no respect. Around the world, I will say that, just in U.S.
That's right. The children getting out of hand now, so it's a sad thing.
And it all begins at home. We need to spend more time with our children. Ask them how was the day, what events, something they want to bring up. How is bullying? Is anyone in your class being bullied? Something they want to talk about. And if they bring it up, you can always, guide them towards getting help for that person.
That's right. And we will talk much more about bullying and so on in future program. But Shanaz, are you ready? I have a letter to read about that a 15-year-old write. It's going to be like 4 pages, but I'm going to try to read it as quick as possible. But please, whatever you do, pay attention. It says, "Dear Mom, it's with heavy heart that I write you this note, knowing the amount of pain that it's going to cause you. Mom, I want you to know that I love you dearly, and I will ever love you. If I am given the opportunity to live again, I will still choose you as my mom, and our family will still be my place of birth. But unfortunately, I know there is not going to be any such opportunity. Mom, I didn't want to do this, but I was compelled by circumstances beyond my control to take the plunge. I tried my best to pull through. My best was not good enough. I battled alone for about 13 months now until my strength failed me. You and Dad could not help what I was going through, and maybe I should not have blamed you for that. My one and only brother came very close to understand what I was passing through, but I was too much for this young mind to comprehend what was going on. Mom, I know that you and Dad love me and did everything you could do. You proved everything and your love for me. I was not feeling loved. You provide me much than I ever wanted. You took me to places that most of my mates have not heard of. Yet, despite all of these, my heart was longing for love. I needed someone who would love me for who I was. I need someone who could reach to the depth of my soul and feel the vacuum there. The material provisions you spoiled me with could not do that. I was alone all the while. Despite the fact that we laughed together and had a gist as a family, then came the last straw that broke the camel back. Your brother, Uncle Tony, who came to live with us, made me believe that he knew exactly what my soul was longing for: compassion. He chooses to stay with me when you and Dad were too busy to notice any loneliness. He tried to keep me my company when I needed someone to talk to, but had only gadgets and teddy bears as my company. I was fooled to trust him, and he hacked into my foolishness, and he did it perfectly and deeply. Mom, your brother raped me and used me as a sex toy for 3 whole years. I expected you and Dad to notice, but none of you did. When he left our house last year, I was shattered because I have grown to fill the void of your presence with these dirty deeds. I couldn't complain because I was afraid to lose him. But when he eventually left for Canada, the magnitude of the emptiness in me became too heavy for me to carry. I struggled to forget those experiences, but I could not. My grades dropped in school, and you and Dad quickly arranged for a home lesson teacher. Mom, that singular act, instead of helping me fuel that it's about to happen to me in a few minutes from now. The home lesson teacher bought so much reminded me of Uncle Tony, and on several occasions I felt like grabbing him and making him to fill the gap that Tony's absence created in me. Mom, I had to do this because I was lonely. Did you ever imagine what I was going through in my room all the time? I stay there alone. Couldn't you once have gone out of your way to just spend some time with me so that we could talk? There are many things I would have liked to tell you, but I don't want to add to your pain. So let those other torments be buried with this undignified body of mine. Please make sure my brother David doesn't get to the point where I am now. Also, tell your friends and colleagues who have children to find out what is happening with their beloved kids before it gets too late. Many of the things parents do in the name of showing love are not what we, the young ones, need. I would have gone long hours before you will get to read this note. But one cheering thing is that Dave is still there with you. Transfer the love you had for me to him. My bank details and password to my phones and laptop are all in the piece on a piece of paper I dropped in the drawer for your dress on your dressing table. I miss you, and it pains to empty the content of this bottle in my hand into my mouth, and I'm constrained to do so. It all the same. Tell Dad and David I love them. Tell our pastor that I miss him, and the sermon and long prayers. Tell my friends not to envy me. Goodbye, Mom. That was the suicide note of a 15-year-old dropped her mother before taking her life. You may save someone's life if you pass this story to all contacts in your phone. Parents do find yourself to be too busy and tired to be in the present moment with your children. Are you more invested in your job and house duties than spending time with your kids? Let your children know they are loved for who they are and that you are always there to support them. For the past few weeks, the social media has been awash with many suicide stories on the pages of the media. More still to come. Be supportive parents and actively listen without judgment and seek to understand their concern and challenges. Being a supportive parent means have your child best interests at heart, but also present, involved, and helpful. Treat your children fairly and develop a trusting relationship. Always acknowledge your children's achievements and support them through mistakes and challenges. Parents, my final one, parents, let always be there for your children in the way that we should have wanted our parents to be there for us. Compliments, coolest human alive.
Wow, that is very sad indeed. And I saw a lot of our viewers read that story. The beautiful Mala Hari Prasad said she read it as well. And it seems like all this person was asking for was some acknowledgement. She wanted her parents, she wanted some time. And it's sad that the parents didn't acknowledge her, didn't notice that she was being sexually abused.
And that's why, and we have said many times before that sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times that you have family members who've been, who's abusing your own family members. You have your uncle, their aunts, and whatever it is. And that's why you have to pay attention to all these things. I see our good friend, Mr. Omardath Maraj, locked on. I can't stop to think this past week what a gentleman he is. And it was so nice meeting him. So humble and kind guy. So we can catch up next Monday, 28th, right?
That's right. It's all about chutney in the snow on the 28th of December. Kamrat Sitran, good evening to you, Robert Ram. It is a very sad story indeed. Priya Prasad, thank you very much. She left a mark of everlasting inspiration for children. Parents, don't turn an eye on your children, especially your girl children. Always have an open conversation. Make time for them. And if you're not observing, I mean, you're not spending enough time. You know, all she was asking for, how can you not see she's being locked up in her room or she's isolating herself? All these are signs that your children need your love. They need your attention. They don't need gadgets. It doesn't, doesn't fill all the void of a parent.
And that's why I, dealing with kids and so on, and I'm reading so much stories. That's why I don't like children to be by themselves alone a lot of times. And you know what? You talk and you preach and whatever it is, and still sometimes people don't listen. When you have children, you need for them to not to isolate them, to be around people, to interact with people, so that when these things happen, and to make sure you treat your children the way that if something is like this is happening, that they would come to you.
They will feel comfortable
to
come and discuss it with you. So you know what? Can anyone explain what is the feeling, what her mother is going through right now, knowing that she didn't observe? She wasn't the first person to notice that. Harry Shivdat says, observe your kids. That's right. Good evening, Nadira. How are you doing? Good evening to each and every one of you. Bibi Haq, Bibi Khan, Jai Shri, Sharju, how are you doing? It's a very sad story. And you know what? We all need to spend a little more time with the youngsters among us. You have nieces, nephews. Have a good relationship with them so they could feel comfortable to come and sit down and talk to you about this, because it doesn't make us feel good knowing that you were right there and you couldn't offer help. You couldn't be of assistance.
And Ken and is 12 and his brother, they're 12 and 13. They sometimes probably surprised us when I said, I still need my hug.
That's right. And I notice now a lot of kids don't like to show affection, especially among their friends. They feel like it's something, I'm too old for a hug or a kiss. No, you come here and you get a hug. Good evening to the beautiful Dilari Sigo, Bin Roxanne Walker, Mr. Omardath Maraj, Bibi Hussein, thank you very much, Mala Hari Prasad, Debbie Sanasi, thank you. Yes, it's very sad. Rosemary Abu, good evening to you. Guys, we can always say spend some time with your children. Make it a date, one-on-one. Kamaraj, how you doing? And if you have girl children, always talk to them about what's going on. How can I help you? What can we do together? Because, they want your time. They want your attention. They want you to do something, whether it's just a movie or, go have your nails done. If you feel like your child is encountering something, take them out for one-on-one. Rajan Nimnad, good evening to you. Hey, Tony Seat, how you doing? Good evening to you. Girlie Prasad wrote, my son was closing the door for a few days, and I have a feeling something was wrong. So I start to spend more time with him. Today he is out of that depression with no pills, thank God. Because you notice that, girlie, you pay attention, you are around to give him the time and act very quickly on what's going on.
That's right.
Mary Ann Lou, good evening to you. Thank you guys very much for tuning in to Island Zone Radio, the mind-body connection every Monday. Lalita Prasad.
She said, but why can't friends and family see the sign? But guys, you need to listen. And she said, when these kids talk, please start listening. Ask them, how was your day? And we always say that on this program too. How was your day? That's how we start this program. How was your day?
That's right. Sometimes all you need to get in a conversation is just asking a question. How was your day? Thank you very much for tuning in and sharing your comments. And it's very sad indeed. We will go with a beautiful song by Mr. Tassif Baksh. Our DJ have that song lined up, Tassif Baksh, and he's a wonderful friend of our community, wonderful singer as well. And we'll be right back on Island Zone Radio. It's Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken every Monday right here.
And you know what, Shanaz? Even if you can't trust to talk to your parents, find someone, an auntie, an uncle, or some family friends who you can really
That's
talk
right. You
to.
have to get a good relationship with others. And, I love my nieces and my nephews. I adore them, and I could always tell, and they could always share something with me. And everyone. I love children to begin with. Marianne Lou, good night to you. Harry, thank you. Don't take your kids for granted.
अब नहीं दरकती दिन भी सांसें नहीं लेते अब तो आ जाओ मेरे सोनिया बातें रह गई अधूरी मेरे लबों पे जरूरी आके सुन जाओ मेरे सोनिया तेरे बिन नहीं लागे जिया तेरे बिन अब तो आजा पिया तेरे बिन नहीं लागे जिया
Darshini, good evening to you. Savi Akar, Mr. Roger Sue.
पहले जैसे मौसम भी आती नहीं है बारिशों में पहले जैसी बातें नहीं है पहले जैसे मौसम भी आती नहीं है बारिशों में पहले जैसी बातें नहीं है सूखे सूखे अल्फाज खाली खाली मेरे हाथों की लकीरें बुलावे सोनिया तेरे बिन नहीं लागे जिया तेरे बिन अब तो आजा पिया तेरे बिन नहीं लागे जिया
Sharing our love with you guys by music. Harry Shivdat said it does not take a lot to observe and chat with your child. Beautiful song done by Mr. Tasim Baksh. Dated Bin.
चांद भी वही है सितारे तेरे बाद फीके फीके लगते हैं सारे चांद भी वही है सितारे तेरे बाद फीके फीके लगते हैं सारे आजा लेके तू सवेरे कर जा दूरी ये अंधेरी तेरी दूरी तर पावे सोनिया तेरे बिन नहीं लागे जिया तेरे बिन अब तो आजा पिया तेरे बिन नहीं लागे जिया तेरे बिन तेरे बिन
Mr. Deo Moti from the Sunshine State. Bibi Hussein, good evening to you, beautiful Girly Prasad. Nirmati Dad, good evening, good evening. Bibi Deo Narayan, how you doing? Love is in the air, and love is always in the air. It's always good to give some love. And let's say what's going on in Guyana right now. Guys, save the date. It's all about December 21st in Guyana, 9 a.m. coming to Port Moran, Berbice. It's a workshop on job readiness and self-employment. This is an opportunity you don't want to miss, an event you don't want to miss. The date is December 21st. It's a Saturday in Port Moran, Berbice, a workshop. And I'll put that number in our chat box so you guys could reach out to them. And hey, it's all about job readiness and self-employment.
You know, Shanaz, I also want to say this. I want to read this holiday party, an evening of fun, dance, food, laughter, and good company All are welcome. Saturday, December the 7th, 2019, from 7:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. The American Legion, 60 Hill Avenue, Elmont, New York. The ticket is $40. For more information, contact Jai at 516-708-7996 or call Tara 718-300-8475, and it's sponsored by the Daughters of Guyana. And I think it's a couple of our Lenore girls. What they're doing, they're collecting some money. Sometimes they do fundraising activities, and they buy hampers for the older people in Lenora. So I'm hoping to have them on the program one day to let them talk more about it. And it's a good thing when we are thinking about our elderly.
That's right. Also, the Essequibo folks are having their reunion. So, guys, we'll put all those numbers and those address and time in there. So, you guys, socializing is very important. It's help us to relax a little bit. It's part of our being mindfulness.
Yes, I know Mary Lou like to hear about bird stories, but tonight it's a lot of sad stories. But I will tell you about all the birds. Tune in on Sunday afternoon from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Island Zone Radio and Facebook Live. And guess what? We will be talking all about my birds, how I started, and all the accolades I got for birds. And so we will have a good conversation. I want you to tune in, and everyone else, so we can chit-chat with each other and share a good story. And
That's
all
right.
of
Going down memory lane, and you know what? You might say, I went through the same scenario. You're never alone. Somebody's always struggling or struggling worse than you are. Sorenja Dirkaran, good evening to you. Mary Ann Lou, thank you. Bibi Hussein, thank you. Yes, we express our love through music. And hey, Mike Khan, he said, I came here in the 70s with he lived Guyana with $50, 50 US dollars. And that it was in the 70s. I believe
that's a good deal of money. I mean, hey. And so tune in on Sunday, and you will listen, you will share, and you guys could share your story, and I'll read some of your comments. Also, Mike, I was going to read your comment, but it's gone. I can't get it. But let me paraphrase what you've said. The government, the people of Guyana should really rally against all the speeding guys and give them hefty fines.
That's right.
And so even take away the damn bus. Take away the bus or something so that they can't kill nobody else on the road of Guyana.
Repossess their vehicles.
There is so much accident in Guyana and killing so much people. They have no regards to anybody's life.
Thank you, Antonellini. Thank you, Uncle Michael. Thank you guys for tuning in to Island Zone Radio. Every Monday, it's Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. We'll recap on all the headlines, and I know most of you are seeing these things. Thank you for sharing it with us as well, making us a part of your Monday evening. And we love to hear from you guys. Thank you for your feedback, Mr. John Namad, Mr. Deo Moti.
Thank you, Tony Suit. He said he's driving home, and I'm so glad that you're listening to us. And always tune in to Shanaz and Ken on a Monday evening, and we'll do like to uplift you guys a little bit and talk some good stories and uplift you, share good stories, and so much more.
And
share
right
the love.
now, we want to encourage you guys to go home and make this week about conversating with your kids.
Right.
Take an hour out of your day and talk to your children. Hey, Stefan Prasad, good evening to you. Thank you guys very much, Linai and Savi Attar. The beautiful Mala Hari Prasad, I read your story, single-handedly raise your daughter with no help. You know what? That is beautiful. And make time. Your children are first,
So if Ivan, thank you for tuning in. That's a new name, so thank you for tuning in. David Singh. I just got a friend request
Mr.
from
Saif Ivan, that is Aftal Ivan. Thank you very much. David Singh, how are you doing? Girly Prasad, good night to you. And yes, guys, we insist that you make some time to talk to your children over dinner. It's a perfect week to talk. Mm-hmm. If you're not planning on doing Thanksgiving, well, make a date with your children. Sit down, and you know what? A lot of folks put so much time and energy into the meal that they forgot to even talk to the person on the table, because they're tired. They prepare 10 meals.
Right.
It's not about what you have on the table. Offer it with love. And it doesn't mean you have to make 10 different dishes. Go small. Go healthy.
That's right.
And start the conversation.
Shanaz, a good conversation I like to have with, I ask even the guys that's here, even Ken and Kevin, what are you thankful for? And I want the answer to be kind of meaningful. I'm thankful for you.
I'm thankful for my family.
You know what I'm saying? And do that. Not thankful for the food. I mean, you're glad you have food, but I want you to think about something concrete first, then go, well, thankful for your car and all these things, but those are secondary things. But thankful for life, and I'm thankful for my family and so on, you know.
Mr. Barry wrote, if the government will not obey the laws, what do you expect from the population and the people? Well, that makes sense. Diana Shivram, good night to you. Sharing is caring. Thank you guys for sharing. And remember, we insist that you have a conversation with your youngsters this week. Always ask them, how are you? How was your day? What would you like to talk about? Because you never know. They might not be getting bullied in class. But
right.
They might be seeing a friend and they don't know how to interact, how to intervene, and you asking them, you know.
And the good thing is to have a good open relationship with your children. Oh, we have a couple minutes more to go. And Shanaz, you know, another story that really tear my heart apart is a story in Canada where this lady had one son and he was bullied and he ended up killing himself. I don't know if you heard that story. I print that story out to read, but I don't know where I put it. But it was so sad. Her only son. She reported the matter, but yet they beat this boy up and they do so much things to him.
Get involved. If you see your child is suffering or being isolated, or keep calm, you know, talk to them and go into school. Don't leave it to just the teachers. Okay, they will notice, they will do something, they will take actions. They're the last one to notice sometime because they have to focus on 30 kids in a class, you know.
Yes.
They have a lot of things going on. If your child come home and said, I'm being bullied, or someone make fun of my outfit, make fun of my shoes, you know, you set them right. You give them that confidence. Or sometimes you can't really, no matter how much you instill all these confidence in them, sometimes they feel like, you know.
And another good thing that you do with your children too is to always let them feel good about themselves. And it starts from home. You teach your children that, you know what, you are my blessing. You are the best thing happened to me. I am so glad. Like if you read in my house here, Shanaz, you will see I have two things with Ken and Kevin. I tell them that you guys are the best thing that ever happened in my life, and you guys are my blessings. And so you instill good values in your children. Let them feel good about themselves. Not you beat down your children and tell them bad things about themselves. Then when they go to school, the children treat them bad. Everybody treat them bad. Your house should be a sanctuary for good things, for support, for love, and all these things. Not when they complain to you, you beat them or you chase them or you do all these kind of things. Yes.
Well, I know the beautiful Ashwaya really appreciate her father, Mr. Deo, and the beautiful Angela Moti, and all our children should show that same love and appreciation. If you show love and appreciation, they will raise you, you know, with that love and appreciation as well.
It is true.
Ryan, good night to you. Lena, thank you. And we wish you and your family around the world, especially in NYC,
yes.
Happy Thanksgiving. And we want to see all your pictures, so make sure you tag us so we'll see it. SMS will not be on this Thursday, so I'm wishing you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Spend a lot of time with your loved one. The beautiful Rosemary said the kid was bullied in Hamilton, Ontario. Roxanne Walker, good night to you. She said, my children are all grown up, moved out, but I'm still, you know, you still call and ask for advice. That is awesome. Naeem Hamid, how you doing?
The story goes on so good. You guys should go a bit late tonight. So if you guys want us to continue, we can probably go in another couple of minutes. But we want you guys to chime in and say things. And let's see. Let's reach Shanaz Ramsarup. I am done close to being here on this art, and I have a roof over my head. And I'm thankful for having my two kids with me here today. My husband passed away 3 years ago, but that does not stop me from being a mom and a dad for my two kids. I'm thankful that I can be here with them. I showed him
wrong and
now right and wrong. And that's how you should do. Have an open relationship with your children. And my beautiful friend Priya says, be the change you want to see. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And, you know, I bring her on my program because, you know, for a young girl, I really do like how she's thinking. And I would love someday if I can open a door where she could get on radio or TV too.
That's upcoming, guys. Upcoming. So many more, you know, inventions when it comes to Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. We want to join all of you on our conversation via video chat coming pretty soon. Maureen Ramcharan, Priya Prasad, good evening to each and every one of you. And Maria Harris, our beautiful friend, said charity begins at home. Thank you, Shanaz Ramrup, for sharing. Mr. Deo Moti, thank you. And Bibi Hussein, we could feel the love sitting here, and we love you, wishing you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. And we'll have one more song. The DJ will play one more song. And guys, we insist that you have a conversation with your children this week. Don't make it tomorrow, but always have room for your kids. Make them your priority. DJ, let's go.
For the girl and them who don't trust man.
man. Put up your hand if you trust your man. Put up your hand if you trust your man. Put up your hand if you trust your man. Put up your hand if you trust your man. Every time I on the phone, my girlfriend is watch me. Like she trying to pick a bone to find out who call me. Is your mother? Is your mother? She want me buy a bread for she. Oh gosh, your mother.
That is Mr. Ravi B. He'll be here this Wednesday at Club Maracas, and then he'll be here December 28th, Amazura Concert Hall. That is the NYC event space.
To find out who call me. Is your mother? Is your mother? She want me buy a bread for she. Oh gosh, your mother.
Steve
she want me buy a bread for she. This one's for the gal and them.
That is a beautiful attitude to have, a beautiful Rosemary from London, Ontario.
Put up your hand if you trust your man. Put up your hand if you trust your man. Put up your hand if you trust your man. I's a businessman and I have to say, when every time my phone ring, who calling me? Like this woman feel I have time to play, have time to play. She always wrong and strong and accusing me. Every time I on the phone, my girlfriend is watch me. Like she trying to pick a bone to find out who call me. Is your mother? Is your mother? She want me buy a bread for she. Oh gosh, your mother, she want.
I think Ken is getting ready for Maracas this Wednesday night. I believe you have to be prepping that turkey, Ken. You have to help in the kitchen, you know. And let's make Thanksgiving a family event. Why not have the kids involved? Let them help you, you know, whether it's chopping the garlic, peeling the onions, or passing things. That's how they know what is an onion, you know, or an eggplant.
That's right. It's good to have the children, but guess what I'm going to do? I will be enjoying the food. I have Geetan, so I have 3 women in the house that they will do the cooking. But like, you know, I was chatting with you earlier today and, you know, when you came, and I said, you know, if there's a balance that we all do, we do things for each other that would complement each other. And not that I'm talking about my relationship, but, you know, when I wake up, when I'm ready to leave the home, in fact, I look at life very differently than a lot of people do. I value my life. I'm talking about road accidents and all these things. I value my life. I don't play with my life. I don't go speed on the highway. I don't drink and drive. I try to do things that would help my family and help me. Before I leave the house in the morning, I'll give Gita another kiss and I'll say I love you. And when I get to work, I'll send her a little text and I said
that you arrived.
Daddy love you. I reach your work safe. During the day we'll chit chat, and she would like say sometimes, "Oh, were you busy? You can't," you know what I'm saying. But we try to complement each other with everything. She does the cooking and the other things. I will do whatever I can so that both of us are happy and have a happy home, as you know.
Right, that's a good way to go. And Demo Watch Me, that is Mr. Mahendra Ramkilawan, a really good friend of ours, always thanking you for support. Hey, Sunita, saying good evening to you. Naeem, thank you very much. And he wrote, they have some children have problem, but they're hard to speak with, right? Some children, it's hard to open up. Now, what advice you have for, you know, if you have a child and she doesn't want to open up and talk?
You know, one good thing when you have a child that's not listening, I'm sure that child would like someone and get somebody to intervene. And it's okay if you're the mother and you can't communicate with your child. Get an aunt who the child like or an uncle who she can open up to and discuss things and try groove yourself back into the relationship, because there is something. And now these children, not like long time, you know, they want to talk back and argue back and all these things. But, you know, children go through different phases. But, you know, as a parent, anything you do in love, you cannot go wrong. And you cannot go wrong when you do the right thing all the time as parents. You try to speak
Send them
with
to grandma.
love.
Maybe grandma will talk to them.
That's right. Yeah, grandma always does a good job. Yeah.
And Natasha Carrington, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us, Diana Shivram. And that's Diana Shivram. Grandma is always helpful.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Communication breaks barriers, and you have to start. As an adult, you have to be the one to open that door and let them know it's always welcome to come and talk to me. Pat me on my shoulder. Can we talk? Can we have a cup of tea? You know, make that time. And I always have time.
That's right. And if you know you can't talk at the house where there's a lot of people or whatever, there's people around, you can take your daughter to a restaurant and have breakfast or have lunch and make that a monthly thing or even a weekly thing to have that one-on-one moment
Yeah,
with your child.
take a walk. Let's say, Mommy, can we go for a walk somewhere, and just go for a walk, because sometimes the person you want to talk about might be in the home and you might not feel comfortable enough. Rosemary, thank you very much. And Nanda Hemraj, hey Nanda, thank you very much. She wrote, I grew up my 2 kids without a father for 15 years. It was not an easy road to walk, but I did it. Congratulations to you, and I applaud single mothers. It's such a hard thing to do. To raise a child in a relationship is hard, and to raise it single-handedly, I must applaud you, single mothers out there. It's tough. Right. Roxanne Walker, good night to you. And yes, if you love the show, please share it and tell someone today, if they have children, to talk to their kids. That's the only advice we could give. Sharing is caring. Sharing your love is caring.
And what I always like to hear from our viewers, and if you guys feel that you have a good story that you want to come sit with us and chit chat, and you are always welcome to chit chat with us and to share your story so that you could help someone.
We will be pulling you guys on a video chat. If you would like to go on our video chat, we'll be pulling all our viewers. Hey, we have a beautiful Varshini Kendernat. And yes, what about single fathers? Single fathers are very important too, because for a long period of time, I lived with just my dad. Really? When we migrated to New York, my mom was still in Guyana, and my dad came with 4 kids, and I must applaud him because he had the time. He always made time for us. Every afternoon, he will take, put down his lunch bag and sit down and ask, how was your day? What's going on? Can we go get, ice cream? That was our thing. We used to live in Brooklyn. We used to come out to Jackson Heights and get ice cream every Saturday just for the drive, just for that quality time. No adults, just my dad and us. So
that's nice.
Make time for your children. That's the time and the moments they'll remember.
And what I want to add with Varshini's dad, he's living with us, and what a good guy, and he takes care of his 3 children. Did for many years in Guyana, and not only for his children. What I admire so much about him too is that he loves his sister, and even to me as his brother-in-law, he loves me and I always say the little things that people do for me, it really shows who you are really. Like, sometimes I cough, he would go to the store, he would bring back some
He's very thoughtful.
or he would buy some cough medicine and bring it back for me. Or if he go to the store and he know I love mangoes, and if he see mangoes, he'll buy 2 or 3 mangoes for me, not
that
one.
That shows as a person, he's a loving person, and he had a tough time raising his kids. But you know what? Family is always the backbone. You guys are, always there for each other. Shanti Ramlakan, good evening to you. And Harry Shivdat said, it's tough on single fathers. I believe it's harder for single fathers than mothers. Because guess what? It comes naturally for us, I feel, the mothering. But for fathers, they have to adopt. And especially with girl children, there's a time and place, and you don't want to get out of the way. You don't want to ask too many questions. But sometimes the fathers are doing a fantastic job. You have to applaud
and the good thing, what I like about Varshini dad is that, he don't want to take anybody else, which I tell him, see somebody else.
Because he put his children first. You know what? A lot of guys, they will detour their thoughts, and their children become second priority for them when they get remarried. And, a lot of guys don't choose when their kids are out the door, or when they become mature, then they'll choose to remarry again, because to have a new wife, she will need all your attention.
Yes,
now your kids are the step, behind.
Exactly so.
So choose wisely, and if you give birth to children, if you have children, they are your primary focus. Everything else is secondary.
That's right. And so let's see what we doing next.
Bibi Hussein said, little things mean a lot. That's right. Show a little love, and you might get a little love. And let's talk about, I this is on my mind all day. As much as I enjoyed that Bollywood show in New Jersey,
I was going to ask you.
I was sitting there looking at a woman, and she went with her husband, and he was such a friendly guy. He was talking to me, saying hello, and I look at her, and she had a sour face,
Oh, my God.
And I'm saying, what's wrong with them? They just finished from a beautiful romantic show. Instead of being smiley or a little happy, she had this angry look on her face, and her husband said, he was telling me, I was just telling my wife how beautiful your sari look and how pretty you are. I'm wondering, did that upset that lady?
Oh, my God.
But sometimes he might say something innocently, but she might be thinking, oh, he never gave me a compliment, but he's giving other people compliments, Wow. So it's a little bit of mindfulness on you guys, give your girlfriend, your wife's compliment. Do not let them beg for it or ask for it.
Well, one of the things I've learned over the years, Shanaz, anybody, where's my wife or anybody else, if they look, and Gita knows that too. If they look good, I say it. Wow, or I will tell Gita, wow, that's a beautiful woman there, or look how pretty she is.
And there's nothing more beautiful than another woman telling a woman, you look pretty or you look beautiful. It's so empowering. And I have a lot of, all you beautiful ladies locked on here, they're so inspiring, so motivation, and they're very loving because they always give kind compliments. They always say something nice to make you feel better.
Yeah, also what I would like to say to you guys that I plan to say is that the rape cases in Guyana, it went down for this year. It's 229 compared to last year. There was 315 rape cases in Guyana. So 229, that's good. It's getting better, and I hope that it's get better, and so that male would not be going and rape these girls in Guyana and anywhere else. That's wrong.
It's all about violence and keeping it down. Be a little bit mindful and respect our women out there, your mothers, daughters, sisters, aunts. Respect them, guys. Treat them right.
In Harlem, a couple of days, I read in the papers, there was this, I think it was a transgender girl. She was found dead in her apartment I think she was dead in there for like 7 to 9 days. So in saying that, I found patient dead in their apartment too. It's always a good thing to do if you have family living alone. Go give them that call. Pick up that phone. Check up on them.
If you know something.
Don't let a die and decay in their apartment.
Did she have family or?
I am not. She must have family, but it's sad that she died alone and they found her decomposed body. So always check up on your loved one, even to your friends.
That's right. The beautiful Nanda Hemraj wrote, we need to give compliments when it's deserved to anyone. Thank you very much, Nanda.
Right.
Diana Shivram, good evening, good evening. Diana Shivram is always saying something nice. Mary Ann Lou, good evening to you. Kamal, how you doing? Rosemary Abu, and all you wonderful ladies, you're always fantastic, always a good audience here. Thank you guys for making us a part of your Monday night. Wishing you lots of love and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Remember to make some memories, make hay while the sun shines.
That's right, that's right.
And share all your pictures with us on Shanaz Musical or
Ken.
And we're going to be right here next Monday to chit-chat some more on Let's Chit-Chat with Shanaz and Ken. Sharing is caring. Share the link and let's say goodbye for now. Until next time, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Good night, guys. Take care.
Good night.
Well, we can't rock and come in, but we'll rock and go out.
All right. Baby, me say rock and come in. I mean, let it pull it rock and come in. Whoa, if party car, stop and come in. How they ready to rock and come in. Rock and come in. I mean, let it pull it rock and come in. Whoa, if party car, stop and come in. How they ready to rock and your body clean, girl, you are.
And remember to put a little dancing in your moves. Whatever you're doing, swing those hips. Remember, when you're dancing, it relieves all those happy hormones.
That's right.
All the happy hormones. So if you feel a little stressed, put the volume all the way up. You can always go back and watch our program on Island Zone Radio or listen to me every Thursday on Island Zone Radio. It's a musical sensation. Let's rock. Good night, guys.
Rock and come in. I mean, let it pull it rock and come in. Whoa, if party car, stop and come in. I ain't ready to rock and come in. The way she move her body, I'm making me want it again.
Happy Thanksgiving to the beautiful Nirmati, Dot, Mary Ann Lou, Mr. Shabir, back. Thank
She
you.
roll a bumper.
Debbie Sanasi, Ryan Jeffrey, and the entire Island Zone team. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.